Welcome to Dubai, the most populous city in the United Arab Emirates, a city which combines the ancient past with spectacular modern architecture, and it's also a city that combines work with play. And for a third consecutive year, it's playing host to badminton's end-of-season championships, the BWF Destination Dubai World Superseries Finals. So yesterday was day one of competition, some spectacular badminton, and one or two surprises as well. We started with the defending champions in the mixed doubles, Chris and Gabby Adcock, off to a winning start.
We knew that if we played well that we could win that match.
Then there was a big surprise in the women's singles, the Olympic champion Carolina Marin going down to the very tall Sun Yu of China in the women's singles. Then it was the turn of the #1 seed, Janne Jorgensen from Denmark, who cruised to victory against Hu Yun of Hong Kong.
I'm happy to play a solid game and got a good start.
But for four-time former champion Lee Chong-wei, he was beaten by the very much in form Son Wan-ho. And in the women's doubles, the Olympic silver medalists, the Danes Peterson and Ruta Yule, came through against the Malaysians. Then it was the Olympic silver medalists Pusala Venkata Sindhu needed 3 games to beat Yamaguchi. So this event is the culmination of the 12 tournaments on the MetLife BWF World Superseries, the elite tier of tournaments throughout the year. And it's the ranking points gained from just those 12 tournaments which has determined the top 8 players and pairs in each of the 5 disciplines. Men's and women's singles, men's and women's doubles and mixed doubles as well. So 62 of the world's very best players from 13 different countries are here in Dubai, all competing for a share of the $1 million prize fund. So as far as the tournament format is concerned, those 8 players and pairs in each of the 5 disciplines have been divided into 2 groups of 4. Everyone plays everyone else within the group, and then it's just the top 2 from each group that will qualify for the knockout stage. Semi-finals on Saturday and finals on Sunday. Well, 6 matches for you this afternoon, and we're starting with the Olympic champions in the women's doubles, Matsutomo and Takahashi. They're up against the identical twin sisters, the winners last year of this event. Then it's men's doubles and more Olympic medalists. The Olympic silver medalists, Go Vi Shem and Tan Wei Kiong, are up against Li and Lu from China, who won the Japan earlier this year. Then it's women's singles and the 2014 champion, the world #1 Tai Su Ying, up against the former world champion Ratchanok Intanon. Then men's singles and Son Wan-ho, who yesterday beat the 4-time former champion Lee Chong-wei. He's up against the Olympic bronze medalist and beaten finalist last year, Victor Axelsen of Denmark. Then it's mixed doubles and 3-time former champions Fischer Nielsen and Pedersen are up against the Olympic champions Ahmad and Nasir. And then our last match is women's singles. Sun Yu, who beat the Olympic champion yesterday, Carolina Marin. She's up against the Olympic silver medalist Pusala Venkata Sindhu. So with our first match being women's doubles, there you can see the Olympic champions waiting in the wings to be called on to centre stage for the first of our matches. Well, as far as this group is concerned, Zhang Yena and Lee So-hee, they have already played 2 matches, and as you can see earlier today, they won against Fukuman and Yonao in 2 straight games. 46 minutes for that 2-game victory. So the Olympic champions Matsutomo and Takahashi against the defending champions. Let's join our Master of Ceremonies, Howard Bentham.
This is the Dubai World Super Series Finals. Let's welcome the players for the first of this afternoon's matches. Onto court 1 in the women's doubles. From Japan, the gold medalist from Rio 2016 and #1 seeds here, Misaki Matsutomo and Ayaka Takahashi.
the Olympic gold medalists. The first players from Japan to win gold in badminton Olympic history.
Let's hear it for their opponents from China. It's the defending champions and number 7 seeds, Ying and Yu.
Last year's champions, the identical twin sisters, Ying and Yu. One of only 2 defending champions to qualify for this year's Super Series finals. Of course, the other defending champions we saw yesterday, Mr. and Mrs. Adcock, in the mixed doubles, and they got off to a winning start. Of course, both these pairs did play yesterday. One group match a day for the first 3 days of competition here at the Super Series finals. So Lawrence Besta of South Africa, our umpire for our first match here on day 2 of competition. Well, what a year this Japanese pair have had. World number 1s, 6 Super Series tournament finals, winning 4 of them. And of course, not to mention that Olympic gold medal. Ayaka Takahashi, 26 years of age, from Kashihara in Nara Prefecture, on the main island of Honshu. BWF Female Badminton Players of the Year announced at the gala dinner on Monday. So Misaki Matsutomo is 2 years younger than her partner. She's from Tokushima on the northeast of Shikoku Island in southern Japan. World number 1s, winners of this title 2 years ago when they beat the then Olympic champions Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei in the final. They were semi-finalists last year. Who did they lose to in the semi-final? Their opponents of today. So Liu Yu and her twin sister will both turn 26 next month. 11th of January is their birthday. Born in Shandong province, and they are currently number 4 in the world ranking. They have been as high as 13 weeks as world number 1. Last year, they finished the Super Series standings as number 1. But this year have finished ranked 7. But they only played 8 tournaments this year. Well, their first match, they lost to Chang Ye-na and Lee So-hee in 2 straight games. So as far as the Chinese players are concerned, it really is a must-win situation. This will be the 9th meeting between these 2 pairs, and as you can see with the previous 8, well, it is Matsutomo and Takahashi who have won 6 of them, including the last meeting, which was in the semi-final stage of the All England Championships. 2 straight games it was, and of course Matsutomo and Takahashi went on to win the All England Championships. The first Japanese pair to win the All England women's doubles title for 38 years, since Tokuda and Takada. So there is Lawrence Besta that I was mentioning earlier. And Christian Johannesson from Denmark is our service judge. So both these pairs played 1 match, but it is the Japanese pair who have won their first match against their fellow Japanese players, the World Championship bronze medalists, Fukuman and Yono, they won in 2 straight games, 21-19, 21-19, but that was 58 minutes. So it really is a must-win for the defending champions. We're just pausing because...
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Takahashi, Ayaka, and Matsutomo, Misaki, Japan. And on my left, Ying, China. Yu to serve to Takahashi, Ayaka. Level, play.
So the defending champions, Yu and Ying, against the Olympic champions. Former head coach to the Denmark team, Steve Pedersen. Couldn't ask for a better start, could we? Defending champions against Olympic champions?
We've got some fantastic players here in Dubai for these finals, so hopefully up for a lot of exciting matches today as well.
Yes, and as I was saying, I mean, it really is a must-win situation for the defending champions. Played 1 match, lost 1 match, and we know that the Korean pair in this group, Jang Ye-na and Lee So-hee, they've played 2, won 2. So if the Chinese pair were to lose to the Olympic champions, they can't qualify.
No, they're eliminated.
They're eliminated, so it is desperate for the defending champions. They must win this.
There's over 2, 1.
Good rally.
Three, 1.
Well, I think we can expect to see quite a few long rallies, don't you, Steve?
I was just about to say that because these 2 pairs, they also met last year here in the same venue, playing a nice 2-game match, 21-19, 21-19, won by Lu and Lu. And that match lasted an hour and 26 minutes, so going to be interesting to see if we're reaching the 1.5 hour mark today.
Yeah.
But we must say that Matsutomo and Takahashi, who won the Olympic gold medal, they've improved a lot, in my opinion, this year, playing a more attacking style. So I would expect the match to be a little bit shorter unless the Lu twins really got their defense going.
Yeah, I think I tend to agree with you on that. I think especially it is Misaki Matsutomo who has become far more of a threat at the front of the court. She really hunts the shuttle now, which I think in the past I maybe a little harshly have criticised that she wasn't looking to intercept enough, but no question nowadays she is looking to intercept more and more.
She's become much more active, definitely, I agree with that. And also I think her actions are becoming sharper.
What, her technique, you mean?
Yeah, her ability to eventually kill the shuttle. Sometimes you see when the front court player, designated front court player, if you've got one of those in your pairings, that when they get involved at the net, you can sort of get out of it again. It's really, really hard. So even if she doesn't kill the first shot that she intercepts, she places the shuttle so good that it comes back to her and she can eventually make the opportunity bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Well, this certainly isn't the start that I would have predicted.
Eight, 1.
Oh, it's just long. Just long.
Service over.
I'm not sure that
2, 8.
Law Yu was really ready for that one. No, it was quite a distance long in badminton terms. Now, I know it was Takahashi that finished off that rally, but it's a good example of what you were explaining, Steen, that they're not expecting to play the winner on the first one. They work.
Patient.
Yeah.
Patient, stay in balance so that both players can help cover the court. That's one of the very, very important issues in doubles today, because the opponent's defense is always good here, especially here in the finals where it's the 8 best pairs. So you can't afford to lose your balance and leave the coverage of the court to only your partner. You've got to help her.
Yeah. That's good judgment, letting that go long. Yeah, the little hand signal, just letting her partner know where she's going to serve to. Now that's clever. It was a half smash, first of all, from Matsutomo. And that set it up for Takahashi at the front of the court. And 11-2 at the mid-game interval. And we're only just a little over 6 minutes, aren't we? Yeah, rounded up to 7. Kai Nakajima, one of the coaches there, are talking to Takahashi. Oh, it's always interesting. They swap over. The coaches have a word with one player and then they swap over and talk to the other player.
Yeah. I think it must be confusing, but apparently if you get used to it, of course you get double as good information.
Yeah.
I feel the Lua twins are looking a little bit disheartened here in the first game. It's not that they're not trying, it's just that they seem to lack that sort of confidence that they can threaten the Japanese pair here.
11.
Yeah. I wonder if the fact, I mean, last year they had that wonderful year. They became #1 pair in the world. They finished the Super Series standings at #1 last year. And of course they won 2 Super Series titles, not only the Super Series finals, but they won Malaysia as well. This year they're one of just 3 pairs at the Super Series finals here in the women's doubles that has not won a Super Series title during the year. And I wonder if just, you know, that has affected them psychologically.
It's very possible. I feel that they have, in many ways, stayed a little bit in the old style of playing women's doubles with the rallies like we see here. They don't have a very distinct front court player. They like to play rallies like this.
Yeah, it's a long, long rally, isn't it? I think the longest up to now was 39 shots. I'm sure this is longer.
Yeah. And I think all categories develop in waves, so to speak. So if you get through with a playing style like this, if you win a lot, the other pairs, the coaches look and say, hey, what are we going to do to beat this pair here? They're very, very strong. They have good stamina. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes. So the other pairs, they practice so they can match them in this area so that their own strong areas become the decisive factor.
Yeah. If opponents are winning playing this style, then we should do it too.
Yeah.
No, this is incredible. Oh! Yeah. Oh, what a rally that was.
12.
Over 100 shots. Oh, good put away in the end. And psychologically, winning a rally like that. Well over a minute. Minute and a half. 106 shots.
$13, 3.
Yeah, and there's two problems in this for the Chinese pair. They can't be sure of winning the long rallies, and as the other pairs get better, they play longer and longer matches earlier in the tournament. So even if they win 2-3 matches, they will still have been on court for a much longer time than some of their opponents later on in the tournament.
Serve.
Sheer movement of Luo Yu at the front of the court there, I think, may have forced the defensive error. Let's take, yeah, she was covering that. And that's good movement, I like that. A bit more hunting of the shuttle. Oh, that's lovely defense. Yeah, the last couple of rallies, the defending champions have been a little more aggressive, haven't they? I'm sure they've got to do that.
They have to do that. I'm certain they have to do that. Because what we've seen over the year is that the Japanese pair, they're so good at working patiently until the chances occur, and normally Takahashi sets up Matsutomo for the win on the front court. It's time for desperate measures for the Chinese pair, because they really can't afford to lose a game here. That could prove to be costly for them, because if they lose a game, then the Korean pair will already have qualified for the semifinals.
Yeah.
Meaning that the Korean pair, Lee and Chang, playing Matsutomo and Takahashi tomorrow, that match won't mean as much for the Koreans as for the Japanese pair, who's got to win to move on, should they lose this match in 3 games. But that's all speculation, of course.
Oh no, she just missed it.
Serve.
Well, there is the challenge system. They could have challenged if they'd wished to.
15.
I thought the line judge made a correct call.
Yeah, we saw a lot of good line calls yesterday.
Yeah.
There were some really difficult ones amongst them, but on almost all occasions they got it right. And sometimes we see that the line judges are not really sharp, but they've been that so far in this tournament.
Yeah, they've been very good. Oh, that's a missed opportunity.
70.
That's disappointing
6.
for Ying.
Yeah, Ying with the black knee bandage, right?
Yeah.
I noticed that Ying had some strapping on the back of her knee, but skin-colored tape.
Lots of smashes. First of all on
80.
Yu, then
6.
the channel attack in between the two Chinese players. They're both looking at each other as to say, who should have taken that?
Yeah, and she does a good job, Takahashi, in getting herself in a little bit of a better position every time she smashes. So she was actually almost in the middle of the court with the last smash.
Service over. 7. 18.
It's very common now with the big lead like this. The Japanese pair, they feel a little bit secure. They're quite confident. So that leaves room for Lu to get some points on the board here. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're about to get back in the match.
Oh, that's well taken. That's
over.
a wonderful example of how she really
90.
does hunt the shuttle
Yeah.
at the night
Yeah.
net
7.
now. Wonderful play from Matsutomo. Look at that commitment going forward. Racket arm outstretched, taking it as early as possible. That's well played.
And I can see, just looking over at your papers here, Matsutomo, she's like 24 years old.
Yeah.
So that's not that much, and I think maybe that's one of the explanations on why she's become so good suddenly in this year, 2016.
Game point. 7.
She's simply gathered enough experience.
Yeah. So after just 16 minutes, a little over 16 minutes, already game point opportunities for the Olympic champions. And only needed the one opportunity. 21-7. Opening
First
game.
game won by Matsutomo, Misaki, Takahashi, Ayaka, 21-7.
Umpire conferring that it is 21-7 in 17 minutes of play. What a start by the Olympic champions. That was impressive. Nakajima, former Chinese player, represented China at 1986 and moved to Japan in 1989, became a citizen 2 years later. And what a difference he's made as well to the Japanese team. Park Jibong and Kai Nakajima, I think, have been a huge influence.
And also, I noticed in the player profiles that you can find on the BWF Superseries page on the internet that Ayaka Takahashi is mentioning Zhang Yawen as an idol and an inspiration for her career, the former Chinese international women's doubles player.
Married June 10th, Food, didn't she?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds.
Well, last year when these two pairs met in the semi-final, as Steen was saying, 2 straight games, an hour and 26 minutes. My goodness, we've rushed through the opening game here in 17 minutes.
Play. Service over. 1. Love.
Just checked that with Chung Tan Fook and his wife there, and I think actually it was my pronunciation of the Chinese names that confused it a little bit here. I think he's married to Zhang Jiwen, whereas the other one was Yawen.
Over.
Ah,
1.
Yawen. Yes.
Oh. Service over. 2. 1.
Well, we've been noticing in recent tournaments, haven't we, that she's used the flick serve a lot, and we've wondered whether it's because she's lost a bit of confidence on the low serve. I thought in the opening game, Matsutomo was serving particularly well short.
Yeah.
So obviously that was just for variation. Wow, that's a clever smash, isn't it?
It is.
Service over.
Often a good tactical idea to flick in women's doubles. We saw it yesterday with Camilla Roger-Yule and Christina Pedersen having very efficient flick serves against Woon Ki-wei and Vin Hu, because if your opponent makes a wrong choice on the flick serve, you get a counter-attacking opportunity immediately.
Oh, there's another flick, this time from Takahashi. Oh, that's gone long.
3, 2.
Well, I think the Japanese pair is slightly fortunate there, because I think they were both leaving it for the other. Oh, no question it was long, so.
Excellent.
4, 2.
And there was the hunting of the shuttles again, and by that we mean that here you can see Matsutomo has to move ahead of hitting the shuttle, so she's not just standing in the middle waiting as we see some other players do. Not that many here in this tournament because they're all skilled front court players, but that's what takes some experience to figure out, to get a read on your opponents and say, okay, if my partner smashes on the right side or the left side, what are the habit returns, so that I can hunt those habit returns and leave the others to my partner. And another thing you can notice if you're playing badminton back home is that when Matsutomo is at the net,
5,
she's not looking back to see what her partner's doing. She's strictly focusing on the opponents, looking how are their racket positions, where could I expect the next rally to, the next shot to come.
Yeah, I suppose the fact that they've played together since they were juniors, the Japanese pair, that they have such an understanding, and Matsutomo probably knows instinctively where her partner is going to smash to.
She should, and they
Oh. Yep, he's just wanting them not to waste time in between rallies.
5-2, play.
Yeah, there it is again. Good hunting.
6,
but with my
2.
theory that the Japanese pair have played together since they were juniors, I should think the twin sisters have played together ever since they picked up a badminton racket, age 4 or something.
That's
so
right.
That's, I'm not sure my theory holds out there, does it? well left. Well,
Service over. 3-6.
watching that well. We were talking yesterday, weren't we, Steen, about a possible sideways drift from left to right, and that one drifting wide there would support our theory on that.
Yeah, and I got a confirmation when we arrived here today, because I just met with Danish national coach Kenneth Jonassen and got to ask him if he felt there were any drift in the hole.
4-6.
He confirmed that from our point of view, drift alongside the court towards us, not that much, but it's there, and a sideways drift left to right. But he said was as close to perfect playing conditions as you could hope for, because it was actually just a tiny little bit of drift. So you can easily put it long, even playing this side of the court here, if you push it a little bit too more. Mainly on the flat shots, the high lifts, they tend to stop a little bit.
So just 1 point the deficit now. Isn't it? Yeah. It's the interceptions from the front of the court. And again, was that 2 or was that 3 before she put it away? I think just 2.
Yeah, and
1.
And the inner side, but it's the smash from the inner side of Takahashi. She's hitting the inner side of Lu Ying, and that means that the typical return would be cross. And where was Matsutomo standing? Cross.
Yeah. Oh, that was a clever smash too. Good defense. Oh, clever, clever play. My goodness.
8.
Takahashi.
5.
Able to see that her opponents were out of position. The little hold and flick. This one here. Look at that. That's tremendous. Absolutely tremendous.
Play. Service over.
Yeah. Well, may have missed on that occasion, but she was right to go for it. Interesting though, Steen, I noticed a lot of smashes from Takahashi straight down the line towards the forehand defense.
Yeah.
But Law, you using the backhand action to defend the one down her forehand side.
Yeah. It's a little bit different from player to player, whether you like to defend with the backhand in the forehand side or you want to change it.
7.
We see that when Takahashi has a smash opportunity in her backhand side, she's covering the straight, flat pickup herself. So if the Chinese pair is picking up flat straight, Takahashi is coming forward and Matsutomo is covering the other part of the court there. So they're simply relying on that Takahashi is so strong from that corner that she can kill it eventually woman to woman.
Yeah.
This time on Liu Yu.
Yeah, and interesting that time. Going for the right hip, having played some straight down the forehand side. That time just mixing up the angle. It's good thinking, it's clever play.
And actually, I think one of the solutions for the Chinese pair might be to try and use the forehand cross-long pick up from that particular area. As we discussed before, when Takahashi is smashing straight down the right tram line.
Oh, that's nice.
11
to the mid-game
interval.
A 4-point advantage. The #1 seeds and winners of 4 Super Series titles this year. It's a lovely change of pace, it really is. All former champions in the women's doubles discipline here than any other. We've got 3 former champions. These 2 pairs on court, plus of course the Danes. Pedersen and Rutio won the title in 2013.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds.
Well, 8 different pairs winning the 12 Super Series titles in the women's doubles discipline this year. So those 4 titles I was saying to Matsutomo and Takahashi, 2 titles to the Danes, and then the 6 other titles going to 6 different pairs.
Play.
Mind you, last year's team we had 11 different pairs won the 12 Super Series tournaments.
Yeah, so the women's doubles category has been a lot more open these last 2 years than we've seen for many, many years, where it's been dominated by Chinese pairs.
Yes, 2011 we only had 5 different pairs winning the 12 tournaments from 2 different countries, China and Japan. Oh, that's clever. That is very, very clever.
7.
Now, is that what you were talking about before, or was it deep into the forehand corner when you talked about playing deep against the Chinese pair because they were becoming quite set in their defensive play?
No, it was actually the other way around in the Chinese defense, if they were trying to escape that situation, because it's such a strong set combination when Takahashi is smashing from her backhand side and Matsutomo is covering the net. 3/4 of the court is totally closed down. You have nothing to gain from playing these 3/4 of the court, so you have to get it long cross.
It's gone wide.
So when you play the Japanese, I would say that there would generally be 2 main ideas you'd try to exploit. You'd either try to get and keep Matsutomo at the backcourt because she's not a real hard hitter. So getting her to work a lot in a position where she's not as comfortable as the front court, that would be one idea. The other idea would be to get Takahashi to smash from her forehand side so that you can sort of counter-attack towards her backhand side, where we often see her sort of releasing the attack and playing a more defensive shot.
Just seemed to snatch at that one.
Yeah. think they've, barring any run of quick points, I think the twins, they have more or less resigned. I can also see the Chinese coach being reasonably quiet. Sometimes you get, as a coach, you get the feeling, okay, the other pair, the other player is just better today. We can't do. We simply don't have the weapons today to do anything about it, and you try a few tricks, and if it doesn't succeed, then there's nothing really to do.
Yeah.
Back home to the drawing board and practice.
Yeah. I agree with you. She does look resigned, doesn't she, Coach? What are we going to try next time? We have to have different tactics. That's just missed. That's unfortunate. That was a nice idea.
16-9.
I can remember seeing Pan Li, the Chinese coach, very animated when working with the young Chinese pairs that are coming up at the moment. Chen Qingchen and Jia Yifan and Li Yinghui and
16.
Huang Dongping. Yeah. It's Wu Dongni. Huang Dongping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's still a possibility.
There
they just
is.
need to believe. Get on the attack a bit more. Easier said than done as far as the defending champions are concerned. That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one you were talking about.
Exactly. Excellent.
Very, very good from the Japanese pair, but that last defensive shot from the Chinese, that's the one you wanted them to whip across court again.
Yeah.
Yep. So this one here, instead of blocking, if they'd whipped across court deep into the forehand corner.
Or even keeping Matsutomo at the back court, and it gives us a chance to emphasize that even though we say Takahashi is the stronger backcourt player, the overall strength of the women's double and is dependent on how well you function in your non-preferred role. So Takahashi has to be reasonably good at the net.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it is possible to get Matsutomo at the backcourt, so she can't be totally unskilled there, which she definitely isn't.
No, there she was at the back. Now they've swapped round again. Takahashi at the back of the court. Yeah, well played.
Brilliant.
Well played.
18.
Well, Matsutomo was silver medalist at the World Junior Championships in Guadalajara in 2010 in the women's singles. Lost out to a certain Arachimuk Intanon, who we will see as third match. It's third match today. Just 3 points away from a second win in Group A for the Olympic champions. Oh dear, that's gone wide.
19.
And now the defending champions 2 points away from elimination from this year's championships.
And that's one of the mistake judgment from the Chinese player there. Why play a drop shot so close to the sideline?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Service over. 11. 19.
Yes, but seeing it's always very easy when we sit here. It's much more difficult when you're on court in the pressure situation, staring defeat in the face.
It is.
And sometimes judgment does go a little awry.
But, and also, I mean, you're so used to returning short services, so I suspect that you don't practice returning long serves enough. So,
well, there's only one person to blame for
Service
that.
over.
yeah.
You've got to blame yourself.
20.
But here we are.
Match point.
Match point
11.
opportunities, 9 of them to be precise, for the Olympic champions and former champions here from 2 years ago.
Game.
Lovely shot to finish And I think that's an indication of just how much they've improved over the last 12 months, losing to their opponents of today in the semi-final a year ago. This year, 12 months on, Matsutomo and Takahashi proving why they are now the world number ones,
Takahashi,
and why
Ayaka,
they are the Olympic champions. There's confirmation of the score, 21-7, 21-11 in a match. They're just under the 14-minute mark. Well, I'm sure they'll be pretty happy with that. I expected a much, much longer match, but it wasn't longer because of the skills of the Japanese pair and the way they worked for each other within the rally, the way they set each other up to finish off from the front of the court. To me, that was a very, very impressive performance indeed. Yep, all smiles from the world number ones, Matsutomo and Takahashi. 2 matches played in Group A and 2 matches won. They know they have qualified for the semi-finals. By the Olympic champions, Misaki Matsutomo and Ayaka Takahashi, means that they and the Korean pair of Jang Ye-na and Lee So-hee, they're left and right-handed pairs. They've both played 2 matches, both won 2 matches. So it's quite simple. They will both qualify for the semi-final knockout stage, but they will play against each other tomorrow. So our next match, we turn our attention to the men's doubles. And more Olympic medalists, the Olympic silver medalists, Go Vi-shem and Tan Wee-kyung, up against Lee Chun-hui and Liu Yu-chen. Young Chinese pair who've been in 2 Super Series tournament finals this year. Then after the men's doubles, we'll have the first of our women's singles and the former champion Tai Su Ying.